Thank you for being with us, Dr. Jen. And we were just talking about how fathers can make such a huge difference in these girls' perception of their value.
Yes, they do make a big difference, don't they?
Yes, they do. And I like what you're doing in terms of, sounds like you're doing some things to sort of encourage that with the moms that you're talking to. And
Indeed.
And you said you had done something, just before we went off this last half an hour, you were talking about something that you were doing with getting information from these dads, and there's an article that you're doing or some blogging?
Yes, I put out a request on Harrow, and because my new site just for the parents of teen girls will go live either today or tomorrow. And I've gotten quite a few of men that are experts out there that are working with dads, encouraging them to have better relationships with their daughters. So they'll be blogging, they'll be posting comments in the forum, and then certainly I've got access to them if a parent needs some more advice, I can send it over to them. And then I'm going to have a lot of links to outside resources. My goal for this website is to truly create a committed community to helping the parents of teen girls.
That's awesome. My current husband has my stepdaughter is I guess she's 22 now, and they have a very close relationship, and it's just wonderful to see, and it's a rare thing, and oftentimes some of the mental health professionals that have seen them, because they are so close, will misinterpret their relationship, and it's very strange. But I think
in what way?
Well, they think there's something wrong with them being emotionally close and affectionate. Not, they hug and all of that. Still, always have. And there's some sense out there with some people that it's unusual enough that there's something to be alarmed about if you have a close relationship with your daughter. And I know, a lot of men are anxious about that with their teenage daughters. How much is too much, and are they crossing a line? And it's very hard for dads sometimes with their adolescent girls.
Yes, very much so. And I'm so glad that you brought that up, that is a conversation that we don't really talk much about in our culture. And it's a conversation that we need to have, because dads, they are anxious. And you're right, they do ask, if I hug her, does she think I'm coming on to her?
Right.
Is it just, well, and it's just tough. I spoke to a wonderful dad who was telling me about when his daughter hit puberty and how their relationship changed, and he actually spilled tears down his cheeks telling me, he said, it just shifted. I felt like the innocence was gone. I now had to kind of put up this barrier, and
that's sad.
And you could really see this sense of loss that he felt, because now she was a young girl that, and he was a man there, with everything just had to change. And I was just astonished to watch the tears and the pain there, the anguish. He really, he is very close to his daughter, but he was recognizing that something shifted, and wouldn't it be wonderful if that didn't have to shift, if men and dads felt more comfortable, to be able to be emotionally close to their daughters.
Right.
That just because their daughters hit puberty, then it doesn't mean everything has to shut down.
No, it doesn't, and that's I find it sad when you tell that story, because I think that, but because of the messages that we get in our culture, again, it's just so confusing for them that they don't recognize that, hey, they're just a kid. They're still a kid. They still need their daddy. They still need that affection. They still need them to be there for them in the same way they always did. It doesn't change just because they develop into more adult female features. Doesn't mean they're not still emotionally the same.
It's very true. They definitely need daddy, especially during the puberty years when their shredding mom that's that's just the way that girls
Right. Well,
find
that's
their autonomy. They put
exactly.
mom's been on the pedestal, and girls just psychologically shred their mothers. It's brutal and evil. Evil's the wrong word, but
it feels that way when you're the mom.
I know. I mean, guys and sons and fathers pull apart in a much different way.
Yes, they do.
It just really, truly is an emotional. For most moms and daughters, just brutal. The only word that I can think of. I mean, I certainly went through it with my daughter when she turned 13, and while they're going through that phase where mom is just psychotic and annoying and they need dad.
Right.
They need a constant source that is still in their lives.
And I think it's very, very, very important that we stop marginalizing dads in so many ways. It's huge for the boys, it's huge for the girls, it's just important for everybody.
It's such a powerful statement. I would love for you to say that again.
Yeah, we have to stop marginalizing the dads because it's so important to the girls and to the boys. It's important for all of us.
It is. Thank you. It does. It bears repeating. We do need to stop marginalizing the dads out there. And it would just help so much.
A lot of the issues that you address in your book would go away if we could support our dads in being more present and more involved with their kids.
Yes, absolutely. I do agree with you.
And start giving them some of the tools to be able to do it too. Because like this gentleman you were talking about, if he had been given some tools, perhaps he wouldn't have felt that loss quite that way.
Right. And I can understand how hard it is for some guys, or some dads, I should say. Your 13-year-old walks into the room and she's half naked, with her clothes. It's
suddenly she's a young woman. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure that it makes dads uncomfortable. So we've just got a lot of things going on. But you're right, dads do need the tools. And my hope is that with this new website going up, that we will have more dads commenting. I'm certainly getting more emails, personal emails, from dads asking for help.
Great.
Which just does my heart good.
Yes.
I'm positioned as, the leading expert in teen girls and their moms, because I do so much work with moms, and it's just wonderful when the dads are saying, "Hey, we need some help too."
Yeah.
So I'm glad now that I've got more resources. I'm not a father. I mean, I know the basic psychology involved, but it's great now that I've got some more resources for them.
Right.
So that I'll be it'll be on the website, and I'll be sending them over.
Well, that's wonderful, because I think, again, it's something that dads don't have that much help with. And anything that you can do to help them is going to make a big difference.
Yes. And sometimes just taking little teeny baby steps towards changing things makes an enormous difference. It doesn't have to be, I talk to moms sometimes, and they want this huge, big shift and this big change, and it's like, that's great, I understand, because maybe things are so horrible in their family system, but you don't get to the top of Mount Everest in just one big leap. It's lots of little baby steps, and even if we gave dads just a couple of little things to do, it's amazing the trickle-down effect.
Right, it can have a huge effect on not only the girl's relationship with herself, but the relationship she has with her mom can totally transform once she feels secure in that relationship with her dad.
Yes, yes. And one of the things that needs to be addressed is, since that's often the time when mom's, being totally obliterated emotionally by the daughter, that I'm always encouraging moms not to get jealous of that relationship that her daughter now has with dad, that it's a healthy thing, and that she will come back to mom. She's just going through the phase of pulling away and finding her autonomy, and if mom doesn't make a big deal about that, when the daughter does get through that, and she will, the relationship afterwards is so much richer and deeper, and that friendship and the bond with mom